This is a Podco original.
Like I egged somebody's house once because I was jealous that their Instagram numbers were climbing.
This is an extreme form of jealousy that is irrational, obsessive, and disproportionate to the situation.
Well,
If they're trying to get a yes from me out of guilt, I reject it. Or no,
She can get her ass out there and get a damn job. I'm sorry. We're giving advice. I'm sorry.
And also, if you're one of these jealous, toxic Latinas,
Oh, good Lord.
call me.
Hey.
The juice is loose.
The juice is loose.
Jealous.
Jealous.
get loose.
Jealous.
Hey.
That's right, guys.
Let's get jealous.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey, listeners.
Let's.
Hi, how are you?
Howdy.
How's it going out there at
there.
home or in your car, wherever you're listening?
Who are we and what are we doing here?
This is going to be a pretty, how you say, depending on how you feel about it, it's going to be an intense episode. It is about a topic that I know that I struggle profusely with, and it is
Profusely.
getting loose, jealous.
Jealous.
Yeah, today we are going to explore a topic that all
You're
of
right.
us...
You want to get more shit out of your teeth? Like, we're the ones who have to watch that. You just carry on to them like nothing's going on.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Most of them just
he's
listen.
farming the back of his teeth
Listen.
right now.
I can talk and pick. You
I
don't
had a
have
toothpick
to...
upstairs, dude. I could brought it to you.
It's too late. We coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Anyway,
Hey, we could have stayed together and I never would have been traumatized. How about that? Okay.
we could have never
Could've done a
gotten
lot of
together,
things.
and I never would have been traumatized.
Could have done a
My
lot of
dad
things.
loves me.
Well. Hey.
Anyway,
So we are going to explore a topic that all of us struggle with. We asked you through our YouTube community tab to write in your stories and insights. There was so much great stuff on there. We're going to read a few of those and discuss them and open this topic up amongst ourselves in replacement of maybe you at home don't have friends to talk about these topics
Yeah,
with.
so we're going to talk about it with you.
So we're going to talk about it with you, and then we can reflect on these things and realize we're not alone.
Yeah, so we don't do anything irrational based on our jealousy.
Exactly. The topic is jealousy.
Hey.
You know, it impacts our lives in all sorts of ways, not just when it comes to, relationships, romantic loves. So, Lindsey, you look like you're just chomping at the bit to talk about jealousy.
oh, that was me just trying to stretch my neck.
Oh, nice. Did you get that stretcher?
Daniel, you
Hey.
were saying that
to
you
me.
had a
Hey.
really good story for this, right?
really good
like you were
story?
you were saying at lunch the other day,
Oh,
hey,
talk to me.
yeah, we were said we're going to cover that topic
The
of jealousy.
And I was like, I have nothing to talk about because I don't feel
Okay,
jealousy.
I'm gonna be serious and get off of my
not
bit
felt it.
train. Jealousy has been one of the hardest experiences when it happens to get through for me. Jealousy will usually push me so far in a direction that I end up not only hating the person, but almost doing something physical to make sure that they know that. Not hitting them, like I egged somebody's house once because I was jealous that their Instagram numbers were climbing, and that's something that they wanted. And my Instagram numbers were already way higher than theirs. But them doing something outside of me that brought them joy and fulfillment was a threat to me.
Petty little liars is what your show should have been called.
Hey,
Jesus.
but do you want to know where that started?
Where to start?
Oh, do you want to know the sweet
Childhood
story?
had to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with my dad again.
Oh.
So I would go over there for visitation, right? And when my brother wasn't having night screams and pissing on the floor and drawing on the carpet because he was so
What was the age?
traumatized.
What was the age?
Below, I moved out here when I was 12, so I've seen him in the last 2 years, under 10, 7,
Oh,
8, 9. So I would go over my dad's for visitation. My brother was already a fucking handful in that room. But I just wanted my dad's attention so bad when I would go over there that he would have women over when we went to sleep. And I would go and sit outside of our room because I shared it with him. And the house was built so that it was a super open floor plan. I could see all the way down the house. And I would sit in that hallway and I would look at this woman sitting on his lap and they're flirting and kissing and doing all this stuff. And all I can think is I want his attention.
Yeah.
I want his attention. And that was that was a crazy feeling.
And so when it gets triggered in life
Yeah.
way after that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
the
just like
intensity of the emotion is coming
and
from
it's just
that.
like you can't have anything else that's going to bring you like joy over me. Like you'll pick that, you won't pick me. You know what I mean?
So it's like jealousy and fear of abandonment.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm just going to put this out there because this is interesting now related to you. So I did a little bit of research. It says clinically, jealousy can be categorized into like 2 different forms, right? You got normal jealousy. All right, common, mild form of jealousy most people experience occasionally, usually arises in response to realistic threats and is managed without significant distress or dysfunction. Then you have pathological jealousy. So we'll see where we fall on it. Morbid jealousy, if you will. This is an extreme form of jealousy that is irrational, obsessive, and disproportionate. It can lead to severe emotional distress, impaired functioning, and can be a symptom of underlying health conditions.
One of my parents didn't want me and let me know that. So yeah.
Hey,
That's
and so
deep.
then it's like that might have created an underlying health condition. Those conditions being delusional disorder, that's an option, or obsessive compulsive disorder, or BPD, borderline personality disorder.
Oh dear, Daniel, no.
Why did you turn the heat on? Oh, and
Damn,
lastly,
ChatGPT knows
Lindsey,
you.
Lindsey, this is wild here. So there's a physiological aspect to jealousy. Jealousy can cause physiological responses such as increased heart rate, sweating, and other stress-related symptoms.
I'm jealous of the person I was that wouldn't have sweat in this situation. Like I'm deeply jealous. No,
wild.
that makes
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. The biggest thing for BPD is like that fear of abandonment, rejection, and in that I'm sure you will become jealous of anything that threatens to abandon or reject you.
Right. Right.
So I guess like all I felt like I had a chronic issue with this, like people that I dated,
sounds like it.
and it wasn't until I got to my best friend Alyssa, and she showed me love and grace for a situation that we got into where I got really jealous of her and acted disproportionately. And I like call and do this emergency fucking 4-step with my sponsor. I'm like crying, I'm shaking, I'm so upset. Like because I know I'm in the wrong, but I can't stop feeling what I'm feeling, right?
Right.
Like and I know I'm fucking wrong. Like that's
But
all
I
I can
feel
fucking
it.
think.
Yeah.
And so I get on the phone with my sponsor and we do this like 4-step, and then Alyssa comes back and she just like looks me in the eye, even after I've like just done something not cool, like not like, and she was like, hey, okay, come here. Like, come on. Like, she just wanted to make sure I was okay. And ever since that happened, a huge part of it was able to be like, okay, people can enjoy more than one thing. More than one thing can bring them happiness. It's weird how not until like enough love gets to you that the rational part of like what that jealousy was can get to you. Because before I felt the love of like her, before I felt like I was unconditionally loved, I couldn't look at it.
Yeah.
You know? Alyssa has helped me look at so many things because it's a love that I don't feel like I've ever experienced from anyone.
Yeah.
And that's been able to progress a lot of things in my life because once you know that, like your perspective shifts, things really like fall into I don't know, just like a good POV for you. Like a lot of things changed for me. I was able to like look at a lot of questions I had within myself when I was like, oh my God, like I'm good, I'm covered. Like you still got me, even if I share this.
So then you realized that the threat was kind of, exaggerated.
Yeah,
because
that I-
she
Right.
could love multiple things. She still loves you.
Right,
and then,
right. But also in myself that I was willing to feel that feeling of like terror, feel like, what is this? Finally able to look at this issue that I'd had with so many other people, finally able to call myself on it, finally able to have enough compassion for myself to write it out and get clear on it. And wanting to do that for somebody that I loved so much and who loved me so much. Like all of those forces together changed something in me. Like really, really. And, jealousy, obviously, like I'm still, a jealous person. It comes up. It hasn't come up recently because I don't put myself in enough situations to really like feel that. But yeah, that really, really shifted for me. And so much has just because she said, okay, and just still giving me a hug afterwards.
Yeah.
Could have people around like that.
For sure.
Oh my God.
As Lindsey emotion sweats.
Anyway, let's move on.
So, jealousy. Yeah. What is what's your relationship with jealousy?
I don't know, man. I don't really. I think we're similar, and
I'm not well acquainted with it.
I don't really have it as it pertains to relationship. Like, I don't feel that. It's like, choose me or don't. Like, make your choices or don't. Talk to who you want to talk to. Know the consequences of boundaries crossed. Like, I don't get that fucking like, hey, who you fucking talking to? And man, I'm sure you've had this too, Dan, where like my love, manhood, and fucking whatever has been called into question because of that sometimes. Like sometimes a girl is like, I want you to be crazy jealous
what is
because
that
that
about?
expresses your desire for me.
like, no, I don't
and I'm
wanna
just like,
express it that way.
nah, not from me, dude. Like, nah, because that maybe in one moment I get how it could feel that way, but that in practice and allowing that as part of our relationship and behavior, letting that be a normal thing that I fucking grill you for shit that you're not even doing. Like,
yeah. And then inviting you to want to then enact moments to make sure, hey, is he still in
test
love?
it.
Let me check.
Yes. It's
Why?
it's
Why
a
do that?
bad system for me. It doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. It's like we're choosing to trust and do this. We'll deal with the consequences if they happen or not, you know?
Were they like highly jealous people who were telling you these things, or
Yes.
no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no
have
projection.
dated highly jealous people, and I have acquiesced to highly jealous partners. And in retrospect of those situations, like I look at those and go like, nah, like first of all, they were projecting. They're projecting their own fucking shit and their own willingness to fucking, you know. And yeah, I just like, I'm not down. I'm not down with those games in relationship.
I could see them wanting to protect a snack like you.
Thanks, Lindsey. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Listener, growing up is complicated. By the time you are fully responsible for your life and sometimes the lives of others, you have accumulated so many complicated experiences and emotions that you might just want to turn this train around and go back to childhood. Bad news is, that's not how life works. Good news is, therapy can help. Therapy has been an essential part of navigating life for me. It is so good to have a professional, neutral, compassionate human who I can meet with as often or as little as I want to pour out the contents of my mind and have them help me make sense of it so that I can move through life with more inspiration, motivation, focus, and joy. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. I cannot recommend it enough. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Because sometimes it's just about that magic chemistry you have with a therapist, and BetterHelp makes it easy for you to find that. So never skip therapy day with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Neds today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Neds. Yeah.
Well, okay, so have there been one-off instances? Have there been just like a moment? Are there any just moments that you guys felt that, or
I typically like definitely any jealousy I've ever felt, it didn't really have time for the emotion to manifest as jealousy. It usually went into like self-pity or like negative talk to myself. Yeah, it's not they have it and I'm upset with them for having it. It's like, no.
I suck.
Yeah, it's like, damn, must be nice.
Just right into resignation.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, of course you'd be with them. Yeah.
Yeah. I do experience like jealousy or envy. It's a strange thing.
do you think that there is a difference between jealousy and envy?
There's a
There is
definition
There
of
is,
difference.
right?
Can you
Should I
can you
look it up?
find?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
there's a people try and make a distinction. I'm not clear on it.
Because envy is supposed to be the good one, right? When
Supposedly,
you
but
envy it, you
I don't.
Here, let's
I don't
see.
have a good concept of the difference.
All right, Chat GPT, our great friend Chat, a last name GPT, states jealousy and envy are often used interchangeably in everyday language, but they refer to different emotions from a psychological and clinical perspective. Jealousy, by definition, jealousy typically involves a fear of losing something, usually a relationship that one
interesting.
already possesses, to a rival. It's often linked to feelings of insecurity, fear, anxiety about the potential loss, but something that you actually had. Envy occurs when a person lacks something that another person
want.
has and they desire.
Okay, then we got to
They're
call
the
this. They're interchangeable,
But
but
they
different
kind of-
relationships. So we have to call this episode jealousy and envy. Then, like,
Yeah.
it's both.
Yeah.
Like, because we're talking about that sensation. That makes sense. Like, yeah. So I don't really experience jealousy then. Not fear of losing what I have because not that. Envy I experience. Not in relationship, but like in my life. But so I for sure experience it when I look at certain people maybe doing what I want to be doing, or
Envy, I guess. Yeah, I could see that.
you know what I mean? Like having some things I want to have or whatever, career stuff for sure. I feel envy, but not in a way where I ever want to tear
away,
that
yeah,
person. I don't want to take their shit away. I just feel that deep desire in me for wanting it, and it can get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I've also looked at in my life, and I understand this, even the people I'm maybe envious of parts of their life, I would not trade my life for anyone else's. So, and unfortunately, our lives come as a whole package. So like, I want someone else's career, I'd have to take their entire life and experiences that got them there. And I don't want anyone else's life. As good as their highs might be, I don't want their lows. I don't even want their highs. My highs are mine, my lows are mine. So I do experience envy, but I kind of keep it in perspective or in check.
I think what really checked envy for me was like, so I would look at these people around me becoming, more successful and whatnot. And I would sit there and be like, okay, but like, what is that feeling behind like what they have? Because then I would look at it and be like, okay, but you don't want this that they have. You don't want this. You don't want this. Oh, you just want something that makes you either feel that way or like
Yeah, so you
as
shouldn't
fulfilled as
direct it
them.
towards them.
It's not about them. It's oh my God, you're
Doing something.
yeah.
I
Your
want to do
raft
something.
is going down the river.
Yeah.
I'm over here just like on the bank. I'm
And admiration helps in those situations.
Exactly.
I can
yes.
admire
admiration,
a person.
aspiration. Yes.
Yeah, aspiration towards that. Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
Oh yeah, as you say that, I go, yeah, I've battled envy for sure. Like, I mean, right? We came up with a generation of contemporaries in our industry, and we were all kind of on a even playing field, going towards an even playing field of potential, going towards some pretty big goals. And we all kind of caught a stride, and we're there together. It was very and has been very challenging. I think good for my character, good for me as a human, but very challenging watching, like, getting so close to so many next big things and wanting it so bad and being patient. Like, all right, well, I see them doing that and they're doing that. Mine's coming. I got close here. I got close here. Oh, I got close here. Mine's coming. And as it didn't, and as I saw so many of my contemporaries, like, getting show after show after show after movie, full-on careers since we were on the network together, right? Like, that does create an envy. And again, not me wanting them not to have it, but a fucking problem in myself of it hurting, looking over at their path. And yeah, it's their path, but like, but wait, we were in that place together. We all had, and everyone's got more shows and movies. Like, and then it turns fucking,
Self-pity.
it turns inward. It gets internalized as fucking self-worth shit. What's wrong with me?
Imposter syndrome. Yeah, you never had it in the first place.
Yeah, and just like, what's wrong with me? Am I like, where am I not smart enough to have navigated it better?
All the things.
Lucky enough, talented, whatever it is. Like, yeah, I fucking battled with that really, really strong through my 20s. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it can get tough because then you want to find people to blame. Oh, if my parents would have done this, or if da-da-da. It's like, no, you just gotta. You have to use it as inspiration. It's the only way to transmute that into something that can drive you. Because, like, I remember, like, once again, being like a larger kid, flabbier. Envying my brother's abs because of that. Even Austin Butler's abs. Like, how could someone be born like this? What is it about me? But some of that stuff does or can be a mechanism to get you to work harder at something. If you do envy this and really want it, now you can work hard at it.
Yeah. If you're feeling so strongly that you want this in your own life, yes, the only path through envy in a healthy way is to integrate it and use it as if you can to like, all right, if I'm saying I want this and it's hurting me that I don't have it,
work harder.
What's my path to get it? What am I doing to move towards it?
More.
But that also drove me insane through my 20s because I would then go after it and change and have my product and I'm working at it and then it's still not happening and then I'm like, cool, well, I'm depressed.
What is it about me on a fundamental level?
Fundamental cellular level.
Jeez.
They don't want me.
Man, can I talk about the different aspects of jealousy?
Of course,
Research?
please.
Okay.
Teach us, chat.
Yeah.
So yes, Chat,
Chet?
teach us all.
I like to think his name's Chet.
Chet.
It's
That's
Chet
cool.
GPT.
It's Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks' son,
Run it, nice.
my former roommate.
Oh yeah, you know.
We got to get Chet up in here. Yeah.
Really?
Get Chet up in here. Yeah.
We had some.
Did you guys date?
Fun.
No.
He's kind of hot.
He wasn't looking for. I wasn't his type.
Oh,
Got it.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes, okay, here we go. So, all right, yes, from a clinical
That's right.
perspective, jealousy is a complex emotional response that typically involves feelings of insecurity, fear, concern, relationship, or position. Okay, the cognitive aspect, there are 4 different aspects they listed. This involves the cognitive aspect, thoughts and beliefs about the potential loss of a relationship or value status to a rival, right? We talked about that. Then the second aspect is emotional, all right? Jealousy can trigger a range of negative emotions, including anger, sadness, anxiety, and resentment. These emotions can vary on intensity based on the individual's personality. Then number 3, the behavioral aspect. Jealousy can lead to specific behaviors aimed at countering the perceived threat, such as increased surveillance of the partner, interrogative questioning, aggression, or attempts to sabotage the rival. Physiological aspect, we talked about increased heart rate, sweating, and other stress-related symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with jealousy, have you guys ever like tried to go after a rival who had your love interests like attention?
Look, there's never been another There's never been like another person like that. Like everything that I've done has sort of been like imploding from the inside, kind of like, like, hey, I don't want to see you anymore because you kind of are a basket case. And then I go and like egg his house. So it's not like about another person. It was just about like you.
You took yourself from me.
And
Yes.
and like
I'm mad
this
at
is
you.
what happens with pathology, right? Like the jealousy, fear of abandonment, the pathological reaction creates abandonment. But it's justified abandonment because you're being pathological to them.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
you're creating the outcome that you're most afraid of. This is the hard
That's
part of being
all
human.
I did in my 20s was in my personal life was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. These cycles where you're the very thing you're afraid of, you're creating
Yeah,
self-fulfilling
and
cycles.
Not
Yeah,
being able to communicate at all. Like a mouse fart would have been clearer. You know what I mean? Like just an inability to bring words to my emotions because they were so shameful. Like, oh, okay. Like he would say something that would like da da da. I would be like, even though I would be broken. You know what I mean? So I was going along on this like unsteady foundation anyway. But I got crazy when
I'm glad you have this like that you were able to tie this understanding back to like your childhood. I want to throw this out to the audience. Like if you are having a repeated experience in your life of having a disproportionate emotional response to certain situations in your life and it keeps occurring, I mean, 100% of the time, that is something from your childhood. Like it is something back in the past that's getting triggered. That's why it's a disproportionate response. Some part of your story, personal wound, personal trauma, whatever you internalized, like is getting triggered. And then the person in front of you is so confused because they're like, I just did this. And you're making it seem like I did this. Yeah. And yeah, it's just if you have that repeated experience, it is very worthwhile with professional help or as best you can on your own, try and figure out or look at when you're having that response. How old do I feel right now? This is a big question to ask yourself sometimes in life. How old do I feel right now? Like it's in there, man. It's back there. Like we can't help it. You're not wrong for having this reaction either. This is part of being fucking human, man. And like hopefully, like you're doing, Linz, hopefully you can integrate that information. You can integrate that trigger. You can integrate that experience. So when it shows up again, you can maybe get a little space to go like, okay, that's that. Let me not rage on this person right in front of me as if they're my father. Like they're not my father. Let me try and maybe they did some fuck shit, but let me hold them accountable for that, not
their actions.
For my fucking past.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tricky, man.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. They say first impressions are important, but what about lasting impressions? That's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew helps give men longer lasting and stronger erections so you can perform at your very best. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost, and it's in chewable form. All right? You just got to sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and then once you're approved, you'll receive the prescription within days. Does it work? Don't think you need it? Try it free. That's right. They're going to let you try it free for a month and see for yourself. You're going to love it. Your partner's going to love it, all right? You could be missing out on the best intercourse of your life. Blue Chew wants you to have the confidence to perform at your best. So discover your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code NEDS at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code NEDS to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast.
Yeah, and it's also just like, I feel like some people double down on negative character defects as a part of their unique personality.
Yes,
like making
dude.
jealousy. Well, that's just who I am. Nobody's going to get up on my man. That. Nobody's going to, and it's like, but underneath that, I'm talking about a conversation below that, you know, or above that, a conversation about like, why do you, like, when and how did this become a part of your being?
Yeah.
Why is this?
Yeah.
Does it feel good? Because things in your being should feel like they resonate with you. Because I know that feeling probably hurts you way more than it did them. So why would you want a part of your personality that hurts you so goddamn much to be a part of your personality?
Yeah, why do you want to stand as
out of that?
It's that alter ego. I think they're putting on a mask, like a costume.
It's not.
Like a superhero.
It's you know, and I say this as a hardcore jealousy, like getting better. Like it's not attractive. There's really no point to it, and you're really just bringing forward what you don't want.
And it doesn't you got to ask yourself: does it create good? Do you like how it creates?
Yeah.
Like, does it work?
Does it make you feel good?
Yeah.
Does your relationship
Being
feel
on
good?
Does your relationship feel good?
And how many
are
days
you
does
building?
it take to make up from that? And then how often does it happen then again?
Exactly. And how often is it happening and the situation is not at all what you're making it? Like you're going to make that part of your personality?
Like
please don't.
Don't hold on to these pieces of yourself that you don't want to look at just because you don't want to look at them.
No, peace feels pretty amazing.
Yeah. Not peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like peace feels good.
Yeah.
You got to work for it. And peace and trust, openness in a relationship, softness with your partner. When you build that trust, now when it gets broken, like that's something to deal with, and coming back from that can be hard. But like, man, building like a safe space with a partner, that feels nice. Not constantly being on fucking edge.
You don't deserve that. They don't deserve that.
Yeah. All right, let's read some of your guys' comments.
hear from
There was
the
some great
audience.
stuff in here. So Kevin Coran said, firstly, you all are absolutely amazing for doing this podcast. It gives me something to look forward to each week, and you've helped me uncover a lot of things I would have never known about myself otherwise.
Yay.
nice.
One example of that is, I loved this, on a previous pod, you mentioned comparing yourself to other people. After that, I started noticing how often I would get jealous and compare my life to someone else's anytime they would talk about getting something material or otherwise. You've helped me learn how to be happy for others again and turn that jealousy into drive to earn things for myself.
Hey,
I got
there it is.
Yes.
There it is right
Yeah,
there.
thank you for that comment. I think we all resonate, man. And that's the thing we were talking about. Turn the jealousy into a drive when you feel it. And yes, do the simple self-work process if you do get triggered in jealousy. To whatever you got to do to remember, oh, I actually don't wish ill upon that person though. Like I'm glad they have what they fucking have, you know?
And that awareness, that's the
Half
solution
battle.
right there.
Yeah. All right, then Blue Sun 7826 says, for me, I've always been a little jealous of my sisters. They've always seemed to have their life together more than I, especially academically. They got their degrees right out of high school with high marks, whereas I have dropped out of college 2 times now and am just finishing my degree in my mid-20s. I know we are all at our own paces in life, but it's hard not to feel like I'm the black sheep lagging behind. It also doesn't help that they're both married and squeaky clean, whereas I'm often in and out of relationships and have somewhat of a drug problem. It can make it very difficult to relate and feel comfortable expressing myself to them. Love the podcast, by the way. It's like seeing old friends. Keep it up.
Oh, glad to hear from you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
glad
I'm
to
sorry
hear
that
from
you
you.
feel that
Sorry
way.
that you're feeling that way. And you know what? That's a jealousy that you have to work through because they're your sibling. Like that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And like the love, hate you must have that. I don't know that feeling. Did you guys have sibling jealousy? Not you. So I mean,
No, I think Vanessa did with me, and not ever. She it was so complicated for her because she knew on her soul level she loves me. Like we were best friends growing up. So she knew it wasn't me, but there was a time, where my family's entire life changed to support me and lift me up in my dreams, and it took my mom away from her and moved Vanessa out from Georgia to LA, and like there was. And she didn't even want, it's like she didn't want the acting, she didn't want that attention, but it took away from who am
that
a
love
recess
and-
of
who
her
am I?
life.
Yeah, who am I? And then there was resentment towards me, but that she felt bad about because she's like, I don't want to resent you because I love you, but I do. Like it was some complicated shit we had to work through a couple years.
Damn. Yeah. And
Not really.
Just
My
jealous
brother,
of his abs?
Yeah, the abs, I think, was the thing. No, my brother was always like really. Wait, he also spent more time. Like, so when I went off, did more of the like full time acting thing. He also did acting and did some pretty big roles. But when I went off and was doing like Neds and everything, he was locked in on the guitar. And I mean, I would come home like when leaving that morning. Sometimes at 4, he would be in it, just still going 4 a.m. And then I get back. Actually, it was on later calls. He'd be around like 7, 8ish a.m. He'd be playing the guitar, just running his scales and stuff like that. You know, I'd go to work, then I come back. There he is after school running those scales, man. And now he's a whiz
player.
on the
Yeah.
guitar, man. Like he travels the world doing it. And I always thought it was so magical. I was always inspired by it. And I was blessed that he could teach me certain things, you know.
Yeah.
But it didn't really stick as much as I wanted it to. He would like play in the band and stuff, you know. He's like first chair, you know, on the upright bass and stuff. So he was always locked in, and I kind of missed. I wish that I had had an experience like that, so I had a reason to be a little bit more dialed in. He would play at church and things like that, and the show kind of had me where I was like really dedicated, locked in on the show. So I feel like I kind of missed that, but it wasn't a jealousy thing. It was like I say, oh, you just suck at guitar, Dad. You just don't got it. That type of thing. Yeah. That's kind of all. Yeah, as far as sibling.
this is such a large unpack here. What was her name? Blue Dolphin?
Yeah, blue.
Blue Sun.
Something.
Blue Sun.
Blue Sun.
Blue sun.
Blue Sun. What was the summary of that again?
But her sisters
You
were
lost it,
Okay.
huh?
So here's the deal. The thing that stuck out to me, and thank you for sharing this, because I don't know what that would be like to be in like a forever trio that you felt that way in. So you said that you have a little bit of a drug problem, whatever that is and however that is for you. I know that when I was doing drugs, there was no self-esteemable action I was doing, so my self-esteem really took a hit. And it's because every action that I did was doing something bad to me, whether I was taking something or just like shirking a responsibility, whatever. And so it's hard to just get back on solid ground on your own, even when you're not comparing yourself to people, when you're doing actions that actually sort of sap your worth. I don't know how bad it is for you. I just know like even a little hole
shame,
that lets you,
yeah.
it's still bleeding energy from you that you don't really know. And it's like, your path is so beautiful and unique. Like who at the end is like, this is what you had to be, squeaky clean and married and done with college by 18. Like it's, when we say everybody's path is different, I don't think we actually give ourselves the grace of letting everybody's path be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what is the barometer that we're trying to reach by the end of life? So you're successful. That success is going to change for you as you grow. I promise your definition of success is going to change.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah.
So it's
And
just,
it doesn't have to be everyone else's.
right.
Yeah. And the things you envy about other people, you might find out that, oh, wow, this would make my life much harder than, to upkeep
Right,
what they
right,
have might be
right.
way more difficult than what
If I was a
have.
movie star and I had to sit around while we did an eighth of a page for a week, I wouldn't be okay. Like
It's a
wouldn't
little tough.
be okay.
Okay.
That's not what I want.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be on a series that goes 10, 15 years and have that family, and I have no interest. See, because Jennifer Lawrence was a huge one for me for a long time. That I was like, her
wanna have
career,
that, yeah.
that should
Yeah.
be me. And it's like,
I'm her, but better.
girl, no, but like, girl, what you don't even want that. You don't even know what you do want. You don't want to go and put in those kind of hours a day and do those press conferences. That sounds terrible to me. Do a press tour for months. Oh my God.
I hear it.
You know?
Yeah,
And,
everything comes with a cost.
Yeah, even like being Usain Lightning Bolt, I'd love to be the fastest man, on Earth. I would love it, but do I really want to put in all the time and effort? Some of it's genetics, but I mean, hey,
Am I even gonna run a little bit?
a little bit. I'll jog.
No.
I just want the medal without the work.
Honestly, that's actually a great microcosm of so much of jealousy.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I fucking want that. I will do nothing
to attain it.
even get close to it.
Yo.
Absolutely nothing. But fuck that guy.
Yeah, when you're jealous of somebody and you don't even have the credential, like
Yeah,
that's
that's way
not even
debased.
dumb. That's just hate, or that's just hating.
Yeah, you're a hater.
Yeah, you're just a hater.
You're just a hater.
All right, there's some more good ones. This is a strange one. So multiple people were talking about other people being jealous of them and that experience. So Lex Locks, she said, my own mother has been jealous of me for years, making life extremely hard. My ex-boyfriend also told me he was jealous of me when we were dating and I got my college degree. The people I hold close to me are the most jealous. And another guy, Car Guy, he said, here's one. 90% of my family are jealous of me because of the fact that I packed up my life and moved away to make myself happy. Everyone on my dad's side of the family live within a 15 minutes of where they grew up. I moved away almost 7 years ago, about 14 hours away, and I've been living my life happy. They are all miserable back home, and they have blamed me for a bunch of family drama because I'm not there. I have been asked many times to come visit, but when I say they can come down to me, they say no. I then say, I'll visit when my plans allow it. No one has visited me, and some slipped up and said it's because if we come, we'll hate the fact that you did something no one in our family has done. I don't get to see my family for only like 1 week out of the year. I'll add the reason I moved was because up until I moved, I had to make everyone happy, but no one cared if I was happy. I had a really bad breakup that caused me to move for myself, and now 7 years later, most of my family are jealous of what I have done. So interesting, man. So interesting. I want to commend you for doing what you got to do and having such a clear boundary on them guilt inviting you, trying to make you change your plans and stuff, and you holding your boundary. I'm sure it's really painful, but the fact that you're doing it lets me know you understand the value in that, man. At a certain point in my life, I really will not allow guilt to be a force in family trying to get me to do something. If they're trying to get a yes from me out of guilt, I reject it. Ask, let's I'm down to make an argument or whatever. Like, I'm down. But if you're trying to manipulate my sense of fucking goodness, so guilt, shame me into making a different choice, nah, I just can't allow. I have to have that boundary so that I can feel fucking free in life. That guilt is a fucking cage, man. Yeah. Yep. So I commend you, car guy.
That, yeah, the awareness of that is rough to catch, but the awareness is also a gift, and you know that, and you're able to set up a life for yourself free of how heavy those family bonds can be. I know these family bonds well. I know that passive aggressive love very, very well, and I did everything in my life to sort of like appease and please my family. And here's the thing. They don't want to be pleased, and so they won't be. And that's the thing I had to learn. Like, they'll be pleased for a minute because the dishes were done well, but the underlying feeling that they give you every time you walk in the fucking house, nothing will change that.
Nothing will be.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
No matter how much you ask, no matter how big a help you try to be, no matter how much you reform your life, no matter how much you try to communicate with the new words you fucking have, if they are stuck on how they want to be, which my family is stuck on a place they want to be right now, and each day that goes by, I kind of fucking hate them more.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
it hurts.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? What in the BPD fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, and you're like, you can't judge what you did to somebody else. I really can, because the things I've done in my life are 20 times worse than the arguments, the verbal arguments, nothing physical, nothing that we got into that keeps me separated from them today. I couldn't go back last year for Christmas. And I'm just like, at a certain point, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, really though, your feelings, oh, I was hurt by this. Welcome to life.
Yeah.
You're triggering feelings for me. Yeah. Welcome to life. You guys live in the middle of nowhere. And because you don't get triggered, like me, who's in the fucking ring fighting, you think that you're better than me. But I bring you one fucking issue and you literally lose your fucking minds. And it's like, I can be talking to you without cussing like this, and they will still antagonize. Yeah. Well, what good is a phone call going to do? Well, I don't know. I thought breaking the silence after 2 years, somebody should do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I could never say that to a member of my family who I had helped rehabilitate, who I knew was like, well, you can't come, I have to think about it. Like, I don't know. There's just nothing like it. And I always felt that from my family. I always felt this fucking jealousy. They're jealous of each other. They talk passive aggressively to each other.
Yeah.
And like with my mom too, like I get that. We've worked out a feeling, but like, I mean, yeah, just fuck that. I'm good for you. Stay strong. Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah, jealousy is not a tight
like, what the fuck
yeah, the
in
other
the
girl
family
said
unit?
my mom's jealous of me always. Like, that's painful. That is hard to
even a feeling,
with.
even if it's not the case and your mom doesn't feel that way, just the fact that you feel that way, I'm like, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's rough, man.
This is an interesting one.
That feels kind of nice to know that like other people are aware of and talk about jealousy from their family, just because like it's always been something that I feel weird about it. You know what I mean? And people, like, what are you talking about? And it's like,
you can never really happens.
Yeah.
I remember one of my cousins though, because my brother Nate moved out to California with my mom before me and my dad followed them out. And I remember, like, he was like maybe a week or two after. I'm like a young kid. I'm like 9 or something like that. And I'm riding bikes with my cousins, and one of them was like, "Yeah, and your brother, I'll punch that actor kid in his face. He think he better than It was like, okay, but he was a kid. Kids have these weird emotions,
and that was straight jealousy. That's not like, you're doing that, I want that, therefore I hate you.
I'm better than you at something. I could punch you in the face harder than you can act. You can outact me, but I can out punch your face.
This is a really interesting one. Maybe I won't say her name, but some of them, I don't know if I don't know. It's like but it's their username. This is a public. I don't know. Maybe I won't say names.
Maybe we just don't say the last name.
Yeah.
If there is one.
You'll know it's your comment. Maybe we'll stop saying names on this. Like, I won't say the username because I don't know. All right. This one says, I am personally jealous of my partner. Let me explain.
Oh.
I am a stay-at-home mom and rely on his moolah to buy me things that keep me happy. But it's so cringe asking him to buy me the things. Therefore, I have self-reflected and realized I am jealous of him being able to provide for himself when it's my dream to do so for myself one day. That's such a tender, sweet one.
Oh, that's so real.
Oh, it's so real. Damn.
That is
right?
That
That's
is
so
Tough.
interesting.
That's a moment where one might run into jealousy, and it might be halfway, at least valid. You know, don't hold on to it, but
I'm sorry.
I think that's
I'm
envy
confusing
more so.
jealousy and envy again.
Yeah, it's-
wait, is it envy?
that is
this would actually be an envy if we're going by this
Right, right, right.
definition, but they're
Yeah.
kind of used
Yeah,
fucking
interchangeably.
interchangeably.
Well,
Yeah.
but he did kind of take away her ability to.
But he
do
did.
the work herself. But she's feeling like.
No,
taking something.
she's saying no. She's not saying she's jealous because he's taking away from her. No,
She can get her ass out there and get a damn job. Oh, I'm sorry. We're giving advice. I'm sorry.
Cut that.
We reverted. No, I reverted. No, keep it. Keep it. It's me. I got
it's
off
so
track.
funny and so dumb.
No, that's what I'm like.
She's a stay-at-home mom. She's raising her child, bro.
I thought it was just a
Thus
stay-at-home
the
person.
issue, bro.
It's
She's a stay-at-home person.
Yeah,
You know
okay.
what? She doesn't want to
She's
do
doing it for the
anything to
kids.
get herself any money.
That is wrong of me. That is very much wrong of me. I love you, and I'm glad
Get
you
off
didn't
your
say
fucking
that.
ass, mom.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why it would be jealousy versus envy. But because she has kids, I get it. They're a unit. She's jealous
Exactly.
of that. Well, envious of the position she holds in that unit, which sounds like it's a great unit. And I'm proud of you for raising the
And
kids.
I think the reason I find that one so interesting is I'm sure a lot of people relate to that. I can see how that would come up where like as a unit you decide, you know, I'm gonna be the stay-at-home mom. I'm gonna be with our kids. You go out and work the job. That's a unit that has worked with a lot of families. But I could see even if you're choosing that, and even if you love being at home with your kids, that jealousy might come up, or that feeling of like, oh, fuck, but like you contain all the money. You're making all the money. You have all the freedom to go about your business
It's
and
the
make
freedom.
choices. And I've chosen.
How does one share that load? Because they have created a partnership that does something positive. It's mutually beneficial.
Exactly.
Do they then have to set up an account where she doesn't have to ask? Like, is it just she doesn't want to ask for the money? Or she's saying she would like to go out and make it as well?
Yeah, she'd like to feel
That's
that
tough.
feeling of.
That's
and,
a valid-
Okay, what do you
and
what do you
life
guys,
is long. At
what do
some
you-
point, you might be able to.
What do you guys think about a husband who does well providing his that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
He provides his wife with sort of a salary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure it's a shared bank account.
Yeah.
You know.
So there's no problem with that.
Well, she's saying
Share
she
the
has
bank
to
account.
ask him, though.
Well, probably for she said like things to keep her happy. So probably for like additional, right? Like
Beyond
probably
the budget
out of
he's
beyond
given
the
her,
yes,
right.
and
He gives her a
beyond probably
budget for
beyond their budget, right? Then she's
Right.
because it's not her money. That makes sense. So like my sister works remote. My sister moved to Australia to be with her husband or boyfriend, right? Get married to him over there. He was down to provide everything for her. She wanted at least a part-time job for this very reason. She's like, I don't want to have to ask him anytime I want something. Like, she's like, I don't want that. So I'm going to get a part-time job, whatever it is, so that I have some of my own money.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. Like, yeah, like you would, if it's not your money, even if it's your shared bank account, and I'm sure your husband is a lot of the time happy to give it to you, but it's still what a dynamic to be in. You have to ask.
Yeah, I feel for you is what I got to say in that moment.
Yeah, it's got to make you feel a little bit like a kid, right? Like I can imagine, like it puts you in
Well,
like kid place.
a
like,
lack of
can I get
a lack of freedom for
can I
anything.
get an ice
yeah.
cream?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah,
Independence is the wave.
But good on you for being a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
so
proud
I'm
of
so
you.
glad my mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah. The kids need that. They need that.
And also just maybe talk with him. Like
Yeah.
you seem to have a really, you seem to be able to articulate yourself well.
Oh,
and
yeah, articulate it
Seems
too.
like
Oh yeah, we talked about this on another episode. Like sometimes don't project this onto him, but if you're able to communicate this feeling with him from a place of you understanding that it's like uncomfortable and makes you feel vulnerable.
Validating your feelings of saying, hey, they're not totally reasonable.
Right. Like sometimes having that conversation with your partner or with this person you're experiencing this with, like can actually help you guys get to maybe if not a solution, just a deeper closeness and sensitivity around it. So yeah, maybe it's worth a little like, hey, you know, I feel this way and it's and it makes me uncomfortable and I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but I feel this way and it's there and and I don't know what to do
with it.
Yeah, and I don't know what to do about it because I'm home and yeah.
Ooh, yeah, so, that turns into resentment. That feels like it could. Yeah, Dang, it feels like I get what she's saying. It's warranted, but
there's always ways to make extra cash by selling feet pics online. So let's wrap up this episode.
DM me if you want any, or if you want any tips on how to make some.
Let's wrap this up. You guys got any tippy tips after this talk?
Just be gentle with yourself. That's all I have to say. Your jealousy doesn't make you a terrible person. Your jealousy is energy for you. It's energy in motion. It's an emotion, right? And whether that energy is like hard to work through, it's still there for you. So I find giving myself time between the stimulus and my response has been the biggest thing that has changed jealousy for me and really all of my emotional interactions. So just try to be a little bit gentle with yourself and check in.
Yeah, like someone commented, follow your envy, jealousy. It can show you your desires and lead you to creating future goals. Be curious about it instead of acting on it. I like that. So I'll just let that person's comment be my tip. That's a nice, like use it as a information that it's an indication of where you might want to go. And if you're not gonna go there, then laugh at yourself and release the fucking emotion like Daniel with Usain Bolt, you know? Like if you're not gonna run, bro, you're not gonna run.
Yeah. That's real, man. Or be like the guy from Kazakhstan. He's like, he's running, he has the gun and he shoots all the people that are racing. What's his name? Freaking Borat. Yeah, that's my guy.
I was like, wait,
it's like, I'm gonna get that medal. Man. My tip is to, I'm gonna double down again and just say, transmute that energy. Just like the homie said in the comments, that energy is there, hear it, and then channel it into something positive to get you closer to that thing that perhaps you want.
And also, if you're one of these jealous, toxic Latinas.
Oh, good Lord.
Call me.
Get at me.
Anyway, call me. So that's our episode. Let us know your stories and insights of jealousy in the comments. You can read more of the comments we didn't share in our communities tab around this topic. Let us know what other kind of life challenges and experiences you want us to cover in episodes like this. This is sort of like an adulthood survival guide, right?
What is that? Oh, the lone baby.
Your little baby now, Lindsey.
Sort of like a survival guide.
Yeah. Love you. We'll see you next week.
All right. Peace.
Yay! Thanks for watching this week's episode. Guys,
shout out.
Is it time for
Super Friends Dance? Super Friends Dance.
Thank you for being patrons. We love you. Special shout out. Thanks for making this this podcast possible. Go to patreon.com/nedspod if you want more from us and to support us. We love you.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye.